After the French and Indian War, the British government were having a hard time. The problem was that the colonists and American Indians were killing each other when the settlers came up to the west.
Hey, stop it. Get away from each other, get away.
The king had to do something, so he drew a line down the Application Mountains. He said that the settlers had to stay on the east side of the line, and the Indians had to stay on the west of it. This is called the Proclamation of 1763. However, it was a little too late for that. Settlers were already crossing the line.
Hey.
The British government didn't want to have to deal with it anymore, so instead of solving the problem, they just expanded the British Army in America to 7,500 men. Okay, so get out your green packet and put the Proclamation of 1763 under Causes of the American Revolution. Another bad thing came out of the French and Indian War. Great Britain had a large debt. The people who were living in Great Britain were paying taxes on almost everything. The Americans were not paying very many at all. The Prime Minister decided that it wasn't fair, so he proposed a new law called the Stamp Act. It made colonists buy a stamp for every piece of paper they used. Of course, the colonists were mad. They said that Parliament didn't have a right to tax them because they didn't have a representative in Parliament. They protested the law. After months of protesting, the Parliament repealed or took back the law. The Stamp Act is also a cause of the American Revolution, so put that under causes on the graphic organizer.
On the same day, the Parliament repealed, a fight broke out between soldiers and colonists in Boston. The soldiers defended themselves by shooting the defenseless people. 5 Bostonians died and 10 were injured. On March 5th, 1770, a noisy mob was throwing rocks and snowballs at the troops, guarding the Boston Customs House. Words like "fire if you dare" were shouted. Someone knocked a soldier down and troops panicked at fire. A man got shot twice and died. His name was Crippas Tux. He was the first to die, but not the last. You can put that in your green study guide under the causes of the American Revolution.
As anger over the Stamp Act faded, Americans noticed another law passed by Parliament in 1765 called the Quartering Act. This law ordered colonial assemblies to provide British troops with quarters or housing. The colonists were also told to furnish the soldiers with candles, firing, bedding, cooking utensils, salt, vinegar, and beer or cider. Of course, providing for the soldiers cost money. New Jersey protested that this new law was as much an act for lawing taxes over the colonists' Stamp Act. New Yorkers asked why they should pay to keep troops in their colony. After all, they said, the soldiers just took up space and did nothing. In 1767, the New York Assembly decided not to approve any funds for salt, vinegar, and liquor for the troops. The British government reacted by refusing to let the Assembly meet until it agreed to obey the Quartering Act. Once again, tempers began to rise on both sides of the Atlantic. Add Quartering Act to your green study guide, page 11, under Causes of the American Revolution.
Charles Townshend was the next British leader to face the challenge of taxing the colonists. He was named Champagne Charlie because of his addiction to alcohol and how he made speeches while being, well, what you would call drunk. He believed that the colonists' bad behavior made it even more important to keep our British Army in the British colonies. One day, the Parliament questioned if Charles would dare even make the colonists pay for that army. I will, he shouted. Guess what? He kept his promise. In 1767, Parliament passed down the law. Goods like glass, paint, paper, and now tea were taxed. Yay! The British colonies boycott the British goods until the taxes are removed. Add Townshend to the act of your green study guides under the causes of the American Revolution.
The evening of December 16th, 1773, Samuel Adams and the Sons of Liberty boarded 3 boats in the Boston harbor and threw boxes. The evening of December 16th, 1773, Samuel Adams and the Sons of Liberty boarded 3 boats in the Boston harbor and threw 342 boxes of tea overboard. There was about 42 tons of tea thrown overboard that night. The Boston Tea Party was a bunch of Massachusetts colonists disguised as Mohawks led by Sam Adams and against the Tea Act. They were against the Tea Act and more generally against taxation